There's failing upward, and then there's torching one of the greatest film franchises in history and being handed an even bigger franchise by the same company. Hello, I'm Marvin, and I'm the Movie Monster. Remember Indiana Jones? Remember how great those first 3 movies were? How they made you feel? And then remember how recently they put out Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, and it was putrid virtue-signaling garbage that tanked so hard at the box office that it became one of the single biggest box office bombs of all time?
I remember.
And when I say biggest bombs of all time, I'm not exaggerating. It made $384 million worldwide on a budget of over $300 million when you factor in all the reshoots. Now, add in marketing and the cut given to theaters, and you got losses in the hundreds of millions of dollars.
Made money!
It was the story of a broken down, depressed, and pathetic old Indiana Jones who had lost his way until a stunning and brave, snarky British brunette shows up who's better than him at doing all the things that he does, while at the same time being more socially conscious and morally superior. Sound familiar? It should. It's the old Lucasfilm special, and it was already done to Harrison Ford previously, already in The Force Awakens.
You can't keep getting away with it!
So, fans had no interest whatsoever in watching another hero die at the hands of modern Lucasfilm, or as I like to call it, the Galactic Fempire. Meow, 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 meow. Heading up this doomed project was James Mangold, the director of films like Logan, which fans apparently really liked despite the fact that it was a terrible movie. Call me L-Take all you want, haters. I'll die on that hill. Anyway, Mangold facilitated the destruction of Indiana Jones and got indignant and flat out lied, attacking YouTubers and fans when it was reported that the movie was going through extensive reshoots. Were there a lot of external factors contributing to this unmitigated disaster? Of course. The Femperor and her evil minions had their hands all over this. Insufferable feminist Phoebe Waller-Bridge was also a major presence in the film. But when the ship goes down, you don't point at the helmsman, you point to the captain. James Mangold went along with every ridiculous edict Lucasfilm imposed upon him and engaged in heated arguments with fans in defense of them. That shows me that he's complicit and believes in everything this movie was. And when that movie tanked one of the most storied franchises in history, that should have been it for James Mangold, especially for James Mangold working for Lucasfilm of all places. But it's Hollywood, baby, and that means you fail upward.
Fools! Idiots! Imbeciles!
And it turns out James Mangold's Star Wars movie, a project announced long ago that I was sure was going to end up on the pile of the Fempire films that never get made, is going to apparently be filming next year in place of the long-dreaded and potentially canceled Rey Palpatine movie.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
Not only is this a Star Wars movie, it's an important Star Wars movie. It's called Dawn of the Jedi, and it's literally an origin story for the Jedi Order. Oh, if you thought the Acolyte was heavy-handed with reshaping the Force and turning the entire lore of Star Wars into a soaked tampon of DEI and Force's female nonsense, then buckle up. Will the man who killed Indiana Jones get a chance to bring his brand of terrible to the Star Wars universe? Find out today on Tooney Town TV. All right, guys, this is a rumor from That Puck Place written by John F. Trent that says, rumor, James Mangold's Dawn of the Jedi Star Wars film could shoot next year as Daisy Ridley claims her Rey film is, quote, evolving. And there's a picture of Daisy Ridley right there being like, oh, for me, you shouldn't have. And I'm like, no, you really shouldn't have. She seems like a nice lady. But this Rey movie shouldn't happen. We talked about that already in a video that just came out. But it is currently being rumored that James Mangold, the man who killed Indiana Jones, that his Star Wars film focused on the creation of the Jedi Order could begin shooting as early as next year. Now, the rumor comes amid Daisy really sharing that things are evolving for her Rey film. We learned that things were evolving because we saw the rumor that we reported on yesterday that Stephen Knight, the screenwriter for that film, has departed the project to go focus on Peaky Blinders, and because the Fempire kept sending his scripts back. So Screen Rant reports that Ridley provided an update on her Star Wars film during an early screening of her recent film Magpie. She said, things are evolving. I continue to be very excited. There'll be an update soon. Yeah, well, we got the update. The update was that you don't have a screenwriter anymore. So yeah, things are definitely evolving. Now, it's unclear what this means, but Ridley has commented throughout the year that she has not seen a script for the film, but chose to return as Rey after hearing a pitch from Kathleen Kennedy over breakfast. For example, in March, she told Collider, "I know a script is happening and I'm going to be reading it imminently," which is very exciting. Wait, when was this imminently? It was back in March. Yeah, imminently. We're in October. We're in late October, lady. In fact, she claimed that the film could be shooting either at the end of this year or early next year. I think not. You have not seen a script yet. She said, "I think it could be this year. It could be, but I'm not sure. I think, to be honest, the writer's strike has obviously delayed quite a few things, quite a lot of things. So the intention was later this year. Hopefully it will be, otherwise top of next, I would imagine." Well, keep imagining. She previously told Allo Cine that this entire project came together last minute, which, yeah, we know all this stuff. It's a really cool way of taking the story on a bit of a different direction that she added. Now, while she claimed that her film is evolving, a new rumor from Daniel Richtman via World of Real claims that James Mangold's Origin of the Jedi Order film could begin filming as early as next year. World of Real's Jordan Rumi reports Daniel Richtman is saying that after Complete Unknown, Mangold's set to shoot his Star Wars movie, Dawn of the Jedi, and it can happen as early as next year. And there's James Mangold, the man who killed Indiana Jones, sitting next to Harrison Ford, the man who was Indiana Jones, and Phoebe Waller-Bridge, the woman who killed Indiana Jones. Mangold's film was announced back at Star Wars Celebration in 2023. I mean, what wasn't? To be perfectly honest. I mean, I got to check. I'm pretty sure they might have announced that I'm directing a Star Wars film that's never going to happen at Star Wars Celebration 2023. But a press release from Lucasfilm said at the time that the film would, quote, take audiences deep into the past, telling the tale of the first Jedi to wield the Force and harnessing it as a liberating power in an era of chaos and oppression. Guys, I think I know what the liberating power looks like, and I have a feeling I know what the chaos and oppression look like. Just going out on a hunch here. In an interview with Gizmodo in June 2023, Mangold shared more details, saying, "For me, it's about I want to be a part of the saga, but I also don't want to be holding so much lore in the air that you can hardly tell a story." Oh, yeah, so just reshape all of the lore to your own specifications. That'll work. It worked out so well for Leslie Headland. He continued, quote, "And what I really wanted to do, what I told her was, can we just make a kind of the 10 Commandments of the Force, you know, a kind of origin story of how the Force came to be known, understood, wielded, and harnessed." Oh, my goodness, this is going to be terrible. There's already stories like this, guys. We already have two different stories of the founding of the Jedi Order. One that is Legends canon, and I believe one that is current Star Wars canon. With their current, novels and whatnot. I think that's what Lorne Connor said. I haven't paid much attention to the current crop of novels, so I don't know. But there definitely was a story about this, all taking place on the planet Tython, from the original Legends lore, and it was a very good story.
I don't care.
Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy also previously shared details about the film and how it connected to Ridley's new Jedi Order film. She told Entertainment Weekly, Dagobah Dispatch, "We've been talking a lot about going well into the past, and one of the things that's really knitting this all together, obviously, are the Jedi. What happened with the Jedi over time, much like history? How did the Jedi evolve? They were wiped out with Order 66. I'm shocked that she knew that. Then they gradually have been coming back. The question that we're going to ask with New Jedi Order and with Rey is, does the galaxy need them anymore? Do they want them back?"
Son of a bitch!
This just sounds like more of the Jedi are terrible until Daisy Ridley, Rey Palpatine, has made them better, because they were never good to begin with, because your heroes were never good to begin with. It's just more Disney Star Wars. So there's a lot of food for thought in what we're doing, whether it's in the past, present, or future, she said.
This is a lie.
Look, I believe there's a lot of food, but I don't believe there's a lot of thought going on here. I believe there's a lot of you guys stuffing your faces with your own egos. There's a lot of you shoveling a bunch of crap down all of our mouths, but I don't think there's a lot of critical thinking going on. Kennedy also told Games Radar, quote, "I think what's always great about Star Wars is it's a big galaxy. And we're coming off what was a major war with the First Order, and now Rey has made a promise to Luke, and that's really the core of what we're going and what the story will be." Yeah, like the promise that Luke made to Yoda, the promise that he broke, the promise that you had him break, the promise, the legacy and the destiny that was Luke's that you took away and gave to your self-insert. Is that what you're talking about there, Kathy?
Olsen, help me up onto his casket so I can dance on it!
She continued, "And I think it offers just tremendous opportunity to introduce new characters and start with something fresh, because we culminated with what George was creating, and now we take all of that and move it on to the next chapter." Okay.
I have never heard so many lies in my entire life other than when I was saying them.
Do not ever compare the sequel trilogy to what George Lucas was creating. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. You took what that man made and you flushed it down the Pishadu.
I am assuming direct control.
These themes are supposed to tie into the announced James Mangold film. Kennedy explained, quote, "It was something that Jim immediately sparked to, and I think it's a really nice compliment to what we're doing with moving into the future with Rey and then understanding a bit more of where this all came from, because it will be the heart of creating the new Jedi Order, so to get a real sense of where that might have began with the Dawn of the Jedi could be pretty cool." Well, it would be pretty cool, Kathy. It was actually going to happen. Now, this Dawn of the Jedi film might happen, but this Rey movie, I got no faith in that ever happening. Look at her. She's so cool standing next to stormtroopers. So do you guys think that this movie is actually going to happen? And why would they give James Mangold, of all people, this movie? It's an important movie, and this guy destroyed Indiana Jones, took one of the greatest film franchises of all time, and ruined it so bad that it can never come back. Well, that it should never come back anyway. It'd be fiscally irresponsible to try to bring it back. I mean, they took this character, this beloved American icon, and they turned him into just dreck. The Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was better than the Dial of Destiny. I mean, it was putrid. But what do you guys think? Is James, look, am I wrong? Is James Mangold actually the man for the job? Is Indiana Jones not his fault for some reason? If you have a differing opinion than me, let me know, because I want to hear it. I'm not so rigid in my convictions that I can't be swayed by a well-reasoned argument. So sound off in the comment section below and let me know. In any other job on the face of the planet, if you failed as hard as James Mangold and Kathleen Kennedy, you'd be out on your butt faster than you could say unemployment line. But in Hollywood, failure is celebrated as long as your personal politics are correct.
Shields up.
In the last year alone, we've seen the Fempire attack the very heart of what George Lucas created. They fundamentally tried to change what the Force is, cast the Jedi in a villainous light, and made it be known that the oppressed, diverse lesbian space witches are the true good guys of the Star Wars saga.
Fools! All of you!
What then will be the new origin for the Jedi? What stunning and brave gay diverse female will end up founding the Jedi Order? What toxic male will usurp her and bury her legacy to create a clumsy patriarchy parallel? Will there be anything left of what we've come to know and love as Star Wars by the time it's all said and done? No. And the better question here is, will this actually happen? The Fempire is notorious for announcing projects and then never following through, at least when it comes to movies. It's like they're terrified to put another Star Wars project in theaters, and I think it's pretty obvious why. It's a lot harder to hide the failure of a movie than it is to hide the failure of a Disney Plus show. The Acolyte did scary bad numbers, so bad that it's one of the first shows that the Fempire and Disney have ever actually outright canceled. But streaming ratings are harder to track. You gotta hunt down Nielsen ratings, and there's a lot of people who discount those. It's easy for the studio to just say people watched it, and the vast majority of consumers don't look much further into it than that. But the box office can be tracked very closely. There's an entire industry built around tracking and reporting the box office numbers. Up to this point, Star Wars has only ever had one bomb, and that's Solo. And while Solo lost money, it wasn't the major bomb that Indiana Jones, I'll reiterate, a film directed by James Mangold, was. The blow the Fempire will take if they have a Star Wars movie that bombs to this extent will be catastrophic. Now, The Mandalorian and Grogu movie is being made, but that's because people actually like The Mandalorian, or at least they did at one time. Despite everyone absolutely hating the third season, in which the Fempire's presence was more than felt, Jon Favreau hopefully has enough clout with Star Wars fans to make this film a success. But beyond that, a film with no legacy characters that promises to explain something as sacred as the founding of the Jedi Order in a post-Acolyte world? Well, the future doesn't look too bright for the fandom under the Galactic Fempire. Thanks for watching, and a special thank you goes out to our Tooneytown TV channel members. You guys are the ones who keep the lights on around here, and for that, we thank you with exclusive content like Crime and Punishment, our true crime podcast, Kevin Apollo's Rants, and an exclusive live stream every Friday at 2 p.m. specifically for you guys. So if you're not a Tooneytown TV channel member, join today. And I also hope you'll join us Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Tooney Talk TV, our live stream pop culture podcast where you can make your voice heard as a part of the Tooneytown community. If you liked what you saw here today, please like, share, and subscribe. Click the bell icon to get notified of new videos as they drop. From all of us here at the Tooneytown channels, I'm Marvin the Movie Monster. Now get out of here!